Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker and today we'll be taking a look at the top 16 deck lists for the TCG Player Invitational. This was the third event of a trilogy. You had to compete in one of the previous two tournaments and place in top 8 to earn an invitation to this 16-person tournament. Here's all our competitors here, and of course the Lost Boys heavily involved in the organisation and the running of the event. Shout out to Apex Gaming as well, and of course just the Lost Boys and Mushu Report as being sources for where I'm getting data today. And yeah, there was a lot up for grabs, $5,000 worth of prizes with some big names from the TCG universe. So let's jump straight into the deck lists. So here is our first placed list by Harlan, hope I'm saying that right, and I'm sure many people will be very glad to see it's not Ruby Amethyst, it's not Steel Amber, it is Amber Sapphire, which, yeah, fantastic. It's great to see other colours like winning and doing really well, and there's 3 deck lists very similar to this in the top 8. It was 3 of these, Amber Sapphire, 3 Steel Amber, and 2 Ruby Amethyst. So let's take a look through. We got 4 Stitch and then only 2 of the Rockstar Stitch to shift on to. Not a lot of targets to draw off, just the other Stitches and the Grandma Talas, but it's not really, like, again, that's just an extra thing that if they get it off, it's cool, but really it's just there to be something that can shift early and either just be questing to, like, you're just ramping, you just want to win the game as quick as possible, so it can be putting very early law pressure on, or just be dealing with smaller threats, and with that 5 willpower by turn 4, hopefully it's living at least a hit. So yeah, I totally see, I totally understand that count. 4 Grandma, as we say, and we are playing Belle, so this makes all the sense. 3 Mr. Smee, which I love. We see the 4 Rapunzel later on, and I think Mr. Smee is just one of the best targets to help set up that Rapunzel play. 4 Mickey for our ramp, 4 copies of Hades, so that we've got really, like, so much access to, I mean, like, things like Rockstar and Rapunzel and Belle, and Maximus can be targets. Hades is probably going to be a regular target just so you've got constant removal, so I love the 4 count here. 4 Rapunzel, as we said, and 4 copies of Belle. Yeah, this is RockNRoll Belle. We see 2 Maximus in this list. This list and one of the others are identical, and then the third list is nearly the same. It's not playing the Maximuses, and there's a couple of different counts, but 2 here is some extra bodyguarding for your Bells, for everything really, like good for protecting Belle, or just Maximus can just be annoying. 4 Maleficent Uninvited, of course, for that fantastic lore pip pressure. We talked about Stitch. Only 3 copies of Robin Hood, which I think is fine, just for some extra draw, and again, evasive access should you need it. 4 Stitch for some extra draw power. 4 Hades, as we said. Only 3 copies of You Have Forgotten Me, which I think is fine. 4 Be Our Guest. 3 One Jump Ahead, which with Belle I think is the right count. If you weren't playing Belle and you were just ramping for like Hades and stuff like that, then I think 2 is probably right, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely 3 with Belle. And then 4 Let It Go. So yeah, fantastic looking list, and again, very similar to 2 others in this top 8. So really strong performing. Definitely a list I'm going to try out and upload a video of me giving this a go on the ladder. But yeah, congratulations to Harlan. Next up in second place, we have Dawn with some Steel Amber rock songs. We don't see the shifted captain, so it's not captain's rock songs. And in this variant, we are seeing the Making a Wish Lilo, which not all Steel Amber rock song decks are playing, but this variant did very well. So yeah, 4 Stitch along with the Lilo, 4 Hook still, even without the shifted one, just good early pressure. And we see the 3 Prince Eric later on for the continued early pressure. 2 Simba to help us mill through and hopefully build to the whole new world that they inevitably want to play. 4 Simba, as we said. 4 copies of the Cornered Swordsman Aladdin, who is gaining popularity every tournament. 3 Eric, as I said. 4 of our Ariel as our spectacular singer. Only 3 copies of Baby Tink, which I'm personally not a fan of, but hey, the Miami winning or second place deck, or both, were running either 2 or 3 copies, so what do I know? But 4 Rapunzel, which I'm glad to see. We see the 4 Rockstar Stitch in this, obviously. 4 Big Tink. Only 2 copies of Surfer Stitch, which I do think is low, without a Hades or without a part of your world, but we see it. 2 Fire with Cannons, which I like. 4 Be Our Guest, 4 Whole New World, and 4 Grab Your Sword. So yeah, you know, like we've seen, I've looked at other lists that are pretty much this card count. So yeah, a proven formula. Aladdin popping up more is like the newest addition to it, which I can see why it gets a lot of value. So yeah, fantastic. Congratulations to Dawn. Also making top 4 with Steel Amber rock songs, we have Frank. Most of this looks the same. We only see 1 copy of the Steel Simba. Only 3 copies of the Corner Swordsman Aladdin. 1 copy of Maximus in this list. And we see the full 4 big tink, Tactician Tink, which I like to see. Only 2 Surfer Stitch again. Interesting. 1 copy of Smash in this list over the Fire the Cannons. Standard Songs and 1 Lantern in this deck. And Lantern absolutely smashed PPG Miami with 3 of the top 4 decks playing 4 copies. So, yeah, I think you're going to see this come up a lot more. But, yeah, looks good. Looks good. Fantastic. Congratulations to Frank. Next, also making top 4 is another Amber Saphire deck, another RockNRoll Belle. Basically the same as the list we looked at before. The differences are that this list isn't playing the 2 Maximus, and is instead playing the full 4 count of both You Have Forgotten Me and Robin Hood. Other than that, exactly the same. So, you know, these seem to be preference calls. I'm not sure which I prefer. I'll try both and see what I prefer. But yeah, fantastic. And you're probably going to see this list or one of the 2 variants of it gain popularity because it has really performed well. So yeah, congratulations to Mason. Going into the top 8 now, we've got Brennan. We'll do this one first because it is identical to the tournament winning list. So yeah, really good, really great, fantastic. Well done to Brennan. Another of our top 8 competitors is Kurt with some Captain's Rock songs this time. So we've got the 4-4 Stitch, we've got the 4-2 hook line for some extra singing. We're all in on the Steel Simba and 3 copies of LeFou for extra questing and good for setting up Rapunzels. We do only see 3 Rapunzels. 4 Simba, 4 Ariel, only 2 copies of Tink, which I'm not a fan of, but again, the list that won Miami was running the same. So you got to take the data. Hook and Stitch, as I said, 4 Big Tink, all in on the Surfer Stitch, 2 Smash, 4 Be Our Guest, and then 4 New World, 4 Swords, and then the 4 Lantern, which is proving itself to be better and better, or well, not better, but more people realizing that it's apparently very, very good. And myself included. I was not a Lantern believer, but you got to take the data. Congratulations to Kurt. And now, the first of our Ruby Amethyst list that made the top 8. We've got Nathan. Only the 2 1-drops in Arca... Repping the owl, you'll have to see it. Only the 2 1-drops, which I'm fine with now. Like, I've moved away from 1-drops completely, so yeah, I get it. 4 copies of Broom, and we do see 3 Mickey later on. 4 Gaston, 4 Maleficent, 2 copies of Rafiki. We're all in on the Queen here. Full 4 and Maui and Aladdin. 3 copies of Elsa, which I think is good, especially if you're running 3 Mickey with Brooms. I think that's fine. Only 1 copy of the BLT Mickey. 4 Maleficent, 1 copy of Befuddle as extra protection. I get extra, way of dealing with early Lilo Simba from Amber decks. The full count of Dragon's Fires, Friends, Be Prepared, and then I love this item count: 2 Shield, 3 Mirror, and 3 Pocket Watch. Yeah, probably my favourite list of the Ruby Amethyst lists. I'd probably go down to at least 2 Mickey. But yeah, really good. Is this the... Yes, this is the Magic World Champion. Makes sense why I like the list. Yeah, fair play. Well done to Nathan. And the last of our top 8 decks, another Ruby Amethyst, we've got Matt. The same count of 2 Archimedes, 1 for the Owl. Only 2 Brooms in this list and no Mickeys, which I'd like more Brooms, but I can get behind it. Only 2 copies of Gaston. We see 3 LeFou here. No Queens. So, and only 3 Aladdin, which I'm not a fan of. So, I'm not sure how much value you're getting from LeFou. Like, of course, there is an innate value just from being able to re-ready, and then you're not open to being challenged. Like, it's protection against Rapunzels, and it's good against, like, because you can ready the Simba to challenge into... That's probably the main reason, so that they can either open or respond to a turn 1 Lilo with Archimedes, and then they can LeFou the... That's probably the main reason, but if I'm going to do that, then I'm probably leaning into Queen, or at least a full Aladdin, but nonetheless. 4 Maleficent, 2 Rafiki, 3 Aladdin popping up again, and then quite a large evasive package, 2 Pongo, 2 Goofy, and then the full 4 BLT Mickey later on, which I'm behind. 4 Maui, a full count of Ursula and Elsa. 3 Aladdin, like I said, which I'm not a fan of. 4 Maleficent, 2 Befuddle as extra protection again. And you're running the 2 Befuddle. Yeah. Interesting. 3 Dragon's Fire, 4 Friends on the other side, 4 Be Prepared, and a statement made with just 2 Cauldrons. No mirrors, no shields, no pocket watches. I mean, yeah, I suppose if you're not going to run pocket watch, less. Okay, I can maybe understand the 3 Aladdin then if you just decide you're not going to play pocket watch. But yeah, interesting. I do like the 2. That's a statement to make, the 2 Cauldron. But yeah, I like the evasive package. Yeah, but Matt did very well, so congratulations to them. Going now into the top 16 deck list, we'll bunch up the decks of the same colours. First of all, some Steel Amber classical songs from Brian, Bosch and Roll. We've got 4 Hook, 4 Eric, 4 Ariel, 4 Tink, 2 copies of Hades, 4 Rapunzel, 3 copies of Hans, 1 Moana, the full beast count, 1 Cerberus, 1 T-Car, 4 Tink, 4 Stitch, 3 You Have Forgotten Me, 4 Be Our Guest, the 2 Counterpart of Your World, 3 Hakuna Matata, 4 Whole New World, and 4 Grab Your Swords. This list looks very familiar. I feel like they played the same list in their qualifier. But yeah, looks really good. I'd probably... I don't hate T-Car, but I'd probably just go to the 2 Cerberus. I just think it's that good. And Hades is going to kick over my green screen. It's all going to kick off. I'll deal with it at the moment. But yeah, other than that, really like this deck, like the counts. Yeah, I'd probably just lose a T-Car and go to 2 Cerberus. I like the 4 Beasts. Maybe 2 Hans to go to 2 Moana, but I think that's preference. But yeah, really like this list. Congratulations to them. Another Steel Amber Rock songs from Nick. We see the 2 Cinderella here. We see the 4 Cornered Swordsman Aladdin, 3 Small Tink. We see 1 Fire the Cannons and 2 Smash. And only the 3 Whole New World. But yeah, looks good. We see the Lilo as well to go with the Simba. So yeah, congratulations to Nick. And the last of our Steel Amber, but this is, I would definitely call this Princess Rock songs. We see the 4 Lilo to go with the Simba. We see the full 4 count of Tiny Tink. 2 Cinderella in here, along with 4 Moana. So definitely Princess Rock songs. Only 2 copies of Beast, which I'd like the 3rd, but... I love the rest of the list. It looks really clean. Yeah, I'd probably go to 3 Eric and then the 3rd Beast, but other than that, I really like this. I like the high count of Moana. So yeah, congratulations to Tronisbad. Next up in top 16, we've got Kyle with some Emerald Amethyst Lockout. 3 copies of Olaf to go with that 3 Megara, 4 Pascal, 4 Flynn. All the basic Emerald count, things like Tinkerbell, Hans, Kuzco, Mad Hatter, 3 Genie, 3 Silver. The full 4 copies of Jasper, sometimes that's a 3 count. 2 copies of Peter Pan, which is rising in popularity with the rise of more evasive characters in various decks. 3 Mother Knows Best, the 1 Befuddle that is becoming quite a regular one-off in this deck. So yeah, looks good. Congratulations to Carl. Repping some different colours, we've got Amber Amethyst from Terran, 4 Lilo and 4 Maleficent, both for that early Lore Pit pressure to go with the Simbas. 4 Olaf, 4 Pascal, we see the 4 LeFou as well, just for extra questing, because we're just ramping, but we do see the 4 Rapunzel as well later on, I'm sure that helps to set up. 4 Mickey as well, 4 Maleficent, 2 Rafiki, the 2 copies of Wardrobe, which I do like in this list because it's either that or Smee, and to be honest, Wardrobe is probably enough a lot of the time, and that extra 1 strength can come in handy for dealing with things. So yeah, I like the Wardrobe as a call over the Smee if you're going to play these 2 colours. 4 Hades for constant recycle, Rapunzel as I said, 2 Maximus, 2 Moana, all in on the Befuddles, 4 Be Our Guest and 4 Friends on the Other Side. So yeah, this list looks very, very annoying to play against, so congratulations to Darren. Next up, we've got Young with some Amethyst Steel Cannons, 4 of the Duelist Hook and 3 of the Captain the Jolly Roger Hook later on to recycle those 4 cannons we have later on in the list. 2 copies of the Steel Simba, 4 Broom and 3 Mickey for lots of recycle. 4 Elsa along with the 4 Shifted Elsa, which I like in these particular colours. I like that as a choice, running 4 of that. 4 Maleficent, all in on the small and large Tinks. We've got 4 Hans in here, 4 Queen, 3 Beast, I think is a good count. 4 Grab His Swords, 4 Friends, 1 Mirror. I think you could probably lose 1 Hans for a second Mirror. I think that's probably fine. Although you've got the 4 Brooms and you've got the Mickey. I still think a second Mirror would be nice. But yeah, this looks... I really like this list. This is like a more control variant. So yeah, congratulations to them. Next up, our last Ruby Amethyst control deck from Zack, who I remember won their particular qualifier. Repping the Cat, 2 copies of Sergeant Tibbs, which I think is a fine count, 4 Broom and 2 Mickey, which I like. For all the way in on the Gaston, Maleficent, we see I think it's the same as the list they played before. There may be a change. We see the 3 Jetsam, which I like as a meta call, just response to Pongos and Peter Pans and Tinkerbells and all that sort of stuff. 3 Queens, 2 Goofy, all the way in on the Aladdins and the Maui, 1 copy of Mickey, 3 Elsa, just the 1 Befuddle, which I think is fine. 3 Dragon's Fire, I think is good when you're running the 4-2 Mickey package, and then the expected counts of Friends, and be prepared, and then not as keen on the item count. That's all I'd say. I think that, like, especially if you're going to run Queen, I'd like to see these at least a 2 each, but that's my preference. But yeah, congratulations to Zack. And our final list, I left this one till last. We've got Krista with a little bit of spice, with some Ruby Sapphire, which is brave, absolutely brave. I want this deck to be good. As soon as we get the dinner bell from Rise of the Floodborn, there's potential here for with some card draw. Or blue just needs some more card draw in and of itself. But nonetheless, 4 Tala, like our ramp cards, 4 Tala, 4 Mickey. That's all our ramp, actually. Yeah, just Tala and Mickey, but that's probably enough. Yeah, that's probably fine. We've got a 3/4 Aladdin count. Only 3 copies of Belle. I'd like that out of 4. I like the 4th Maui as well, but maybe it's just not as necessary. I'm not that experienced with these 2 colours together. So maybe this is the one colour combination where I'm actually okay with 3 Maui. 2 Aurora, 2 Jasmine, 1 Maleficent, which is some strange counts. Not what I would make, but all the respect, Krista, because I really like this list in general. 4 Robin Hood, 4 Hades, 2 BLT Mickey, 4 Maleficent, 4 Develop Your Brain, 4 Dragon's Fire, 4, oh yeah, and 1 Jump Ahead for ramp. Yeah, absolutely fair enough. That could probably be 3, I think. But I don't know, I'm not experienced with the list. I'm sure I could play a few games and be like, no, that needs to be 4. 4 Let It Go and 4 Be Prepared. So yeah, I like this list. I'm not a believer in it, but I respect playing it, absolutely, and I really like it. So congratulations to Krista. And then we have it for the top 16 deck list from the TCG Player Invitational. It's all over now. We have our champion, and yeah, Amber Sapphire coming out on top, which is great to see. The meta has been more diverse than I think some people give it credit for. So lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for future Lorcana content. Hit the like button, and we'll see you soon.